Beyond the internet we use every day lies a hidden world, the dark web. A place of anonymity, secrets, and sometimes horror. But what's fact and what's fiction? Let's find out. Alright folks, buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the deep end of the internet. We're talking about the dark web. Now, you've got your everyday internet, right? Facebook, YouTube, cat videos, the usual suspects. That's the surface web. But beneath that, like a freaking iceberg, lies the deep web. Think government databases, private academic journals, stuff like that. It's massive, man. But then at the very bottom, the darkest depths, that's where you find the dark web. This is where things get really interesting. And by interesting, I mean potentially terrifying. You see, the dark web is all about anonymity. It's like a digital mask for anyone who wants to operate in the shadows. And believe me, there are some shady characters lurking down there. Let's talk about the Silk Road, man. This wasn't some ancient trade route, but a digital black market that exploded onto the scene in 2011. Imagine Amazon, but instead of books and toasters, they were selling drugs, weapons, you name it. The mastermind behind this whole operation, a dude named Ross Ulbricht, aka the Dread Pirate Roberts. This guy was like a digital Pablo Escobar running a billion-dollar empire from behind a keyboard. The Silk Road was a wild west of anonymity, fueled by Bitcoin, the original cryptocurrency. People thought they were untouchable, buying and selling anything they could imagine. But the feds, they were watching. And in 2013, they swooped in, shut the whole thing down, and threw Ulbricht in prison for life. The Silk Road was a wake-up call, man. It showed the world that the dark web wasn't just some myth, it was a real marketplace with real consequences. Now let's talk about the really dark stuff, the stuff that keeps you up at night. I'm talking about red rooms. These are websites supposedly hidden deep within the dark web where you can pay to watch live torture and murder. It's the kind of stuff that sends chills down your spine, man. People whisper about these sites, sharing stories that are almost too gruesome to believe. Is it real? Is it just a sick urban legend? Honestly, it's hard to say for sure. There's never been any concrete evidence that these sites actually exist, but the rumors persist, and the possibility, man, it's terrifying. It makes you wonder what kind of darkness truly exists in the hearts of men. Chapter 4. The Human Experiment, a descent into madness. This next story, it's like something straight out of a horror movie. There are whispers on the dark web of a site called The Human Experiment. It's said to be a place where criminals, mad scientists, whatever you want to call them, conduct horrific experiments on unwilling victims. We're talking about testing new drugs, new forms of torture, pushing the boundaries of human suffering. It's the kind of stuff that makes your skin crawl just thinking about it. Again, there's no proof that this site actually exists. But the rumors are out there, man. And they paint a picture of a world so depraved, so utterly devoid of humanity, that it's almost impossible to comprehend. Chapter 5. Myths versus reality, separating fact from fiction. Now look, I know what you're thinking. The dark web is just a playground for criminals and psychopaths, right? Well, it's not that simple. Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff down there, no doubt, but it's not all doom and gloom. The dark web is also a tool, man. A tool for anonymity and freedom of information. Think about it. Journalists use it to communicate with confidential sources. Whistleblowers use it to expose corruption. And people living under oppressive regimes use it to access uncensored information. So while the dark web can be a scary place, it's also a place where people can fight for truth and justice, even when the stakes are incredibly high. Chapter 6. How to stay safe, navigating the digital abyss. So let's say you're curious, you want to take a peek into this digital underworld. Well, let me give you some advice. Be careful, man. The dark web is not for the faint of heart. First off, you're going to need a VPN. This will mask your IP address and make it harder for anyone to track your activity. Next, you'll need a special browser like Tor, which is designed to access the dark web. But even with these precautions, you're still taking a risk. Never share any personal information, avoid any illegal sites, and be wary of clicking on links. Remember, the dark web is like a jungle, man. There are predators lurking everywhere, and if you're not careful, you could become their prey. Utro, the choice is yours. The dark web is both a mystery and a tool. It's not all horror, but it's not safe either, so would you ever visit it? Comment below, like, share and subscribe for more mysteries.